So we're learning so much clinical career data to drive decisions. I'm ready for my next guest when my team is ready to bring up. So share with us who you are and how you help dentists.
Hi, I'm Carrie Millar with Dentist Insurance Services, and we help with malpractice, cyber liability, disability, and everything you need to run your practice so that you don't have to worry about it.
And I think I'm so glad you are here, both literally and figuratively, as a supporting sponsor, because when you live inside my phone, Carrie, you get many, many DMs of, I have a crisis, I have a challenge, and a lot of it revolves around insurance that the dentist needs to protect themselves. Not dental insurance, the dentist needs to protect themselves. So
Yeah.
let's just help this audience with some fundamentals. And even though I'm 20 years into this, I will admit malpractice insurance always confuses me. They use these terms. So let's just say you're a dentist, you're working for a DSO, you might want to leave that DSO or private practice. What are some things you should think about? What might be some mistakes you don't want to make? Because I've seen some dentists in our community make these mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to make sure if you are working for a practice that provides you the malpractice insurance, that you either tail out that policy, meaning you buy a policy that will cover you for any claims going forward for when you worked there, or you get a new coverage and you ask them to use a retroactive date, or what some people sometimes say a prior act date, but basically will cover you for any claims going forward all the way back to when you started with the DSO. So you want to make sure that if anybody comes forward in the future from the time you were there, you have coverage for that. So
I like what you shared there, because I've gotten near dentists say, hey, it's 2 years, I'm not in that practice anymore, but there's a claim against me, I don't know what to do. So can people literally reach out to you and text insurance to 215-543-6454? Can you walk them through that?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially the new grads that are coming out that are looking at their contracts, deciding whether they want to carry their own malpractice or they want the DSO to carry theirs, or they're thinking about carrying two malpractices, which is you don't want to do unless you exclude specific coverages from each policy, because you don't want overlap. It doesn't mean double coverage. It just means diluted coverage. So yes, they can. I have a team of 25 people that are there to help them if they text that number.
Is it fair for me to say, and you can correct me, get your own, make sure you have your own, make sure they work with you. Don't just say, hey, we're covering you, and not ask questions, because I'm assuming that could leave some of these new grads open to liability that they're not aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can get your own and you can get them to either reimburse you for your own or specifically schedule you out of their policy, that's going to be the best bet for you. But if they're requiring you to take theirs, you want to make sure that you put that they have to buy the tail on your behalf in your contract and that you don't have to pay for it. And you want to make sure that you specifically exclude their offices on the own policy that you carry for yourself for moonlighting.
Awesome. I always think of ideas when I have these and help my team, Josh. And I kind of envision, like, you have a dental student and they're going to go camping, right? And they put all these things in their backpack, and they kind of got to go camping for the rest of their lives into the real world of dentistry. And they don't want to be out there without something in their backpack. It's not the best example for me, because I'm not into camping or glamping. I'm into being inside. But there are some people who do like camping who will get this example, because I just think back to my dental school experience, and even Aaron Nicholas's and Aditi's. No one really talked about any of these things. And I had a dad who was a dentist, and I was lucky to have him. But he was 25 years after dental school. So of course he told me, get loops. Of course he told me you need disability insurance. But even if you have a family member in dentistry, things change so rapidly. So connecting with you before when is a good time to connect with you for malpractice insurance? Because this moment of this recording, I know this will be played later, is in April, where a lot of people are graduating. Should they be connecting with you now?
Yes. Yeah. So April, May, as soon as you start thinking about what you're doing next up, you start interviewing. That's when you want to make sure that you have a good idea of what you want malpractice wise and what you're expecting. Disability insurance, you should have already been thinking about it. And if you're not, you need to get it done now, because you have about 60 days from your graduation to qualify for higher benefits as a new grad. And then that goes away too. So you want to make sure that you're thinking about the disability if you already haven't signed an application, and definitely the malpractice insurance right now. And just, what policy you're going to have and where you're going to practice and what kind of coverage you need. We recommend occurrence form policies until you're in your forever dental home, and then absolutely go switch to claims made and save the money and get the free tail. But if you're not sure where your forever dental practice is yet, then occurrence makes the most sense.
Absolutely love that. So do Occurrence until you're in for your forever dental home. Well, before we wrap up, there's just one more thing I want you to go over to scare our audience.
Okay.
So text insurance to 215-543-6454 to connect with Carrie. But when you're a dental practice owner, one of the scariest things is to hear that you've been hacked. And it's happened to me. And everything I want to share authentically, everything went as well as it could have post the hack. And it was one of the worst weeks of my life. Outside of personal challenges that I've dealt with and family challenges, the week where our office was hacked, even though it went well, was one of the worst weeks of my life. And I'm assuming a lot of people, it doesn't go so well. So maybe could you aware and scare our audience as to why they should reach out to you to make sure their cyber liability is in check?
Yeah. So you are very lucky. It was only a week. We're now looking at 3 to 4 weeks is kind of the normal, how long it takes. And so I tell people, how much coverage should you have? You need to find out, tell me how much revenues you guys make in a month, and then at least double that as the amount of coverage, because part of it's going to go to that business income. The other part's going to go to the liability. We're seeing a lot of class action lawsuits now on the lawyer pages, like, hey, were you hacked? Were you part of this hack? Were you part of this hack? And it's now starting to go to the practice levels and the smaller practice levels. Hey, was your patient information hacked in any way? So we haven't seen a lot of lawsuits on the third party side, but I think that those are really starting to come down the pipeline, as well as, it is 3-4 weeks that you're out now, not just a week anymore. So
I love what you share, Carrie. Thanks so much for supporting us. Get the coverage you need to not cry inside. Text insurance to 215-543-6454. Thanks so much for sharing with us.
Thanks, guys.